Ahoy!
Finally got it working.
I think so.
Yeah, shit's been weird tonight, guys, but we're here. This is Bottom of the Stream. My name is Adam.
And I'm Nick.
And this is Bottom of the Stream, as I've just said. This is the 101st episode of Bottom of the Stream.
I know, a momentous number. Is it? I don't know. Not really. No.
It's the start of the second 100.
Okay. Yes, that's fine.
It's the rebirth. How are you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah? Up to much? Been up to much?
I'm trying to drink more water.
How come?
Just trying to be a bit more healthy. I've been for 2 runs this week.
Wow, it's been raining every day. What are you doing?
I did get really wet last night. I think I went last night or the night before. I can't even remember. I got absolutely drenched. But I didn't drink that water. I just been trying to drink more water, and it just means I'm just pissing all the time. I don't know why I've started this train of thought.
I lost you again for a minute there.
I think I could hear you. Are we just ploughing on?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it all in.
Okay.
I've been drinking a lot more Iron Brew. So we're very different people, me and you. I did go for a walk, so that was nice.
Oh, good.
That was a bit of exercise.
Yeah, good.
It's the whole hair thing that's doing my head in. I don't know what I'm going to do with all my hair.
Now,
I've got too much.
Yeah, similar. I mean, that last week before everything shut, I was like, oh, maybe I should go and get a haircut, and I didn't, and I now regret it. But
yes,
I'm like, should I just shave it all off? Because I know I have done that when I was much, much younger, but I'm like, I just don't think I'd get away with it now.
I'm 100% not doing that. It's just not happening. It's so long now. My fringe is nearly down to my nose. The tip of my nose, not it's like the end of my nose.
You should just go full emo. Try and bring that back.
The trouble is, it doesn't grow long, it grows out. I look like Sideshow Bob. It's ridiculous.
Just embrace it.
There's no end in sight for when I'm going to get my hair cut. It's depressing.
I'll do it.
You can't.
Oh, no.
The only people that can do it are me. And I'm not doing it.
Just have a go.
Shall I? I have got some clippers. It's not happening. I mean, I'm just going to live it.
Just find a tutorial on YouTube and just follow that. What could go wrong?
Everything. Do you want to start with Netflix news?
Yeah, let's do that.
Have you got any Netflix news?
I have got a couple of bits, yeah.
I've only got one bit. Shall I go first and then you want to take over?
Go on then.
It's not really... Well, it is news. It's more... It is news. I've been listening to the Kingcast. You know I talk about the Kingcast quite often.
Yes.
They had Katie Siegel on again this week.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, of Hush fame. Hush actually left Netflix this week as well, which is a bit annoying.
It'll be back. I'm sure it will be back.
It'll be 100% be back. Emo the Musical left and Life Force also left. But anyway, I'm sidetracked. She was talking about Midnight Mass briefly.
Yes.
And I don't know if this was out there in the effort, but it's actually coming in October this year.
Oh, wow.
She revealed the information. And she gave a bit of an idea of what it's about as well.
What did she say?
Nice, because nobody really knows. So what she said is that it is about a small town in Middle America, and they get a new priest. And then all of a sudden, miracles start happening.
Okay.
And that's the synopsis.
Awesome. Sounds...
But the interesting thing that she did say was that they've obviously wrapped filming now. I think we put that in the news a few weeks ago.
We did, yeah.
There are people that she has shared a scene with who she has never met.
Huh?
Because of the COVID restrictions.
Oh, okay.
The way they've filmed it, they've had to film it creatively. And there's people who she's having scenes with who she has never met in real life.
Oh, can't wait to see how that turns out. I'm sure
it's going to be interesting. She called it a romantic comedy horror.
Cool.
So, yeah, it sounds quite interesting. Yeah, it's coming in October. Apparently it's in editing at the minute with old Mike stuck in the editing room. Good. But I'm really looking forward to Midnight Mass. It obviously has ties to Hush with the same main character, and it was the book that she was reading in Hush. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So that's coming in October. Yeah. And check out the Kingcast because it is really interesting if you're into Stephen King.
Yeah, it is good. It's a good listen. 100%.
She was talking about Firestarter.
Oh, yes.
Which is a terrible film and a really good book. So that's basically what she was saying.
I've just finished a Stephen King book, actually. I had it for Christmas.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
It was okay. It was The Institute.
Oh, yeah. It is good. It is good.
It was good, but I couldn't quite shake how influenced it was by, like, Stranger Things.
Yeah. But then that was influenced by him in the first place.
Yeah, I know.
It's come full circle. I know what you mean.
A bit of, like, tennis, but it is pretty similar, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's similar.
I wanted more time with the police guy. Who like the first 50 pages were dedicated to, and then it goes off onto the main storyline. Anyway, yeah, it was fine. It was pretty good.
Cool. What's your Netflix news, Nick?
I'm just going to plough on because you cut out. So, are you back? Are you there?
What is going on? I'm here.
Good. So, the first bit of news is, did you ever watch Hannibal?
No.
With Mads Mikkelsen?
No.
No, I didn't either. But he is... he's pushing for a revival of it. So 6 years ago it finished, but it seems to have a bit of a new lease of life on Netflix. And he's sort of done a few interviews recently where he sort of said everyone wants to get back together. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that because Netflix aren't exactly shy of pulling properties back, are they? So
no, not at all.
We'll see.
Look for revivals.
We'll see.
Interesting.
See what happens there.
No, I've never watched it.
It's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, it is supposed to be good.
I
don't know why I've never watched it. I just never have.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of those movies, actually, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I don't really hold Silence of the Lambs in as high regard as generally people. It's fine. People are probably shouting at me now.
Yeah, they definitely are.
But yeah, anyway. Next one. Netflix.
Next news.
How much do you think a film costs?
What, to own or?
Yeah, if you're Netflix.
Oh, if you're Netflix, I've no idea.
So they have paid $15.75 million for a movie called Passing, which has just been shown at Sundance, which has been happening online. And it's got quite an intriguing synopsis. So it's directed by Rebecca Hall and it stars Bottom of the Stream alum Tessa Thompson.
Nice.
Ruth Negga, who was in Preacher and Misfits.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And Alexander Skarsgård.
Oh, I love a Skarsgård.
Has he been on the show as well?
Skarsgård is good. Yeah, was he in Hold the Dark? Was that him?
Yeah, he was that Skarsgård.
Or was that his... No, that was him.
I'm sure it's the right one, yeah.
Yeah, it was, because it wasn't Stellian, and it wasn't the guy who played Pennywise.
Hang on, wasn't he in Mute as well? Hasn't he been on twice?
Yes, you're right, he has.
And I just thought it was a really interesting synopsis. So it's about two African-American women, but they can both pass as white. So it's set in 1929 in New York, and one of them goes to live basically on the white side of town, and one of them lives on the black side of town, and it's about the sort of parallels of their lives after they sort of go their separate ways. And it's I like that sort of period, 20s, 30s. It's so I think it's quite an intriguing time. So yeah, look out for that at some point later this year.
That does sound quite interesting.
And then my final piece of news is a coming soon. So Pacific Rim: The Black is an anime series, and it is going to debut on Netflix on Thursday the 4th of March.
That's not long away. That's only a month.
No. And basically it's the story of two siblings who travel in a massive robot to look for their missing parents.
Nice. I don't think I've seen Pacific Rim.
I've seen the first one, but I don't think I've ever seen the second one.
I don't remember. If I have seen it, I don't remember it. But
it doesn't really strike me as the kind of property that was crying out for more content. No. But
no, it doesn't. You're right.
There we go. It's coming.
Interesting.
Coming to Netflix.
Coming in March.
Yeah.
Cool times. Is that all your news?
That's my news.
Have you watched anything good at the top of the stream?
Yes. I've started Lupin.
Oh, I've finished Lupin.
Oh. I thought I'd really surprise you with
that. Sorry. I've pissed on your cornflakes a little bit there. I do apologise. Yeah. That was my one thing that I've been watching this week.
I've watched 2 episodes.
Cool. I've watched 5. It's being finished.
Did you like it?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's a really interesting concept, and it's really different
been very impressed
because it's French. It feels different to anything else. Me too. Do you know? It reminds me of. Do you remember Hustle?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
It really reminds me. It was Adrian Lester and Mark somebody back in the day, but it really reminds me of that. It's got that sort of similar vibe to it. Yeah, French
and good.
I used to like Hustle. I had a lot of time for Hustle.
I didn't mind it, but it was a bit like all wrapped up in an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, this isn't like that because this is 5 episodes where it's all one big hustle, but it's worth it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. The way it wraps itself together is quite clever at the end. Not to give any spoilers away.
Yeah, I would recommend it, definitely.
It's coming back as well, isn't it? It's got a sequel.
Yeah, I kind of think
not a sequel, a second part.
Yeah, that it was already done. They just held it back a bit in case this was a huge hit, and that's what's happened. That's kind of the impression
I think
get.
that's exactly right. Because it's 5 episodes, which is an odd number.
Yes.
Not just because it's 5, but it's an odd number for a TV show. And I feel like it was probably filmed as 10.
100%.
Because it does end on a cliffhanger. So I'll give you that little bit of a warning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it. Definitely check it out. It's going to make a lot of money on Netflix, I think.
Yeah,
doing
I think
really
so.
well.
I think so.
That's literally all I've watched this week. I've had quite a hectic week.
That's fine. You don't have to
I feel like I should just watch stuff just for Netflix.
I've watched a couple more
for
things.
This show. Go on. What have you been watching?
Watched about 5 or 6 episodes of Superstore, which is a...
Oh, yeah, I've seen this on there. I don't know much about it.
It's a sitcom set in a superstore. And it stars America Ferrera, who was most famous for Ugly Betty. Yeah, pretty good. It's just pretty slight, but yeah, quite funny. I mean, there's like 7 seasons on there, so...
really? Where's it come from then?
I don't think it's ever been on in the UK, not that I can think of.
No, I don't. It's just one of these Netflix sitcoms that they've purchased from a different channel somewhere.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, sort of 5-6 episodes in, you're starting to get to know the characters and the nuances. It's not bad. We're definitely going to stick with it for a bit. So yeah, it's funny. I've watched one more thing with my oldest daughter over the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
Both series of Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous.
Oh, right. I've heard of this. It's like an animated Jurassic Park follow-up.
Yeah, it's good. Actually, surprising how invested I got into it as well.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
good. She's well into dinosaurs, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
It also ends on a cliffhanger. I will give you that little spoiler.
Oh, nice. It's got the guy who plays Adam Goldberg in the Goldbergs in.
His voice is distinctly recognisable.
I can't remember. What's his name? Don't know.
Sean something.
Sean something, yeah.
Yeah,
something Italian, I think.
Sean something.
Sean something, that's him.
But no, it's fun. It's fun. Good show.
Cool. Good. Glad to hear it. Is that all you watched?
Sure is.
I've got a little something I found today.
Oh, hello.
I want to talk about.
Okay.
It's a website.
Oh, God. No idea where we're going now.
It is relevant to the show, so don't worry. It's called timespentonnetflix.com.
Okay.
And you can, I don't know if you know this, but I think we've done it before on the show. On Netflix, you can download your entire play history.
Yes.
And go through everything you've watched in order.
You can kind of export it, can't you?
Yeah. So what you do, when you've exported it, you upload it to this website.
Okay.
And it gives you a load of stats.
Awesome.
Which is really good. So I've done it for me, and I've also done it for you.
Oh, brilliant.
Because I know your Netflix login. So the first thing it gives you is your 10 most watched TV shows.
Okay.
Mine is Community at number 1.
Yep.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt at number 2.
Yep.
Red Dwarf at number 3. Because I did, when I first got Netflix, I rewatched all of Red Dwarf. Schitt's Creek. And then there's a show called The Last Kingdom, which I've definitely never watched. But I do watch a show called Kingdom, so maybe that's got mixed up a little bit there.
With what? Sorry?
Kingdom.
Yeah, what was...
The Last Kingdom is the show that's come up on the list. So I think it's got mixed up somewhere. 13 Reasons Why, Peep Show, Somebody Feed Phil, The Good Place, and then The Dark Crystal, which I've only ever watched 5 minutes of.
Okay, that's a bit
I think
suspicious.
something's gone a little bit wrong there. Because it says I've watched that for 16 hours and 54 minutes, which is not true. And it also says you have watched 2 of 10 episodes.
Sounds like...
So unless I've watched those 2 episodes 8 times each.
You must have had a good nap.
I don't know what's gone on there. Then after that, it gives you your 10 most recently watched movies.
Okay.
Which are obviously all from this show, so pretty much all of them are. It says I've watched The Fundamentals of Caring, which I didn't. But this is where it gets interesting. So it says your total time spent on Netflix is 33 days, 12 hours and 22 minutes.
Okay.
Total time watching series is 29 days, and total time watching movies is only 4 days.
Really?
Now,
Seems
sometimes
low.
I do watch our movies on the bottom of the stream account, so that might be why.
Yeah, same. Okay.
In that time, you could have read 27,000 pages of a book.
Okay.
You could have ran 8,044 kilometres, which is about 201 marathons.
I couldn't, but there you go.
No, not me. You could have earned 29 university credits, which would give you half a year of full study at university. You could have travelled to the moon and back 11.2 times. You could have watched The Office US 10.9 times.
Okay.
According to this, my favourite genre is comedy, which I find quite hard to believe, and then drama. So I thought that was quite interesting, but do you want to know yours?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be heavily kids stuff, but I'm intrigued to know, yeah.
I might do it as a bit of a game. So what your 10 most watched series. What do you think your most watched TV show on Netflix is?
Okay, I'm going to take an absolute punt here.
Yeah.
And say it's going to be one of my daughter's much watched. No?
No. But at the same time, I don't think it's yours either.
Is it Suits?
Suits is second. 3 days, 21 hours you've watched Suits for.
Yeah, that's my wife. What would be ahead of that she's watched? Dawson's Creek.
Third.
Ugh.
3 days, 3 hours and 32 minutes.
I don't know. I don't know what first would be.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, of course it is.
Obviously, 4 days and 21 hours. You've got 2 episodes that she's not watched according to this, though.
Okay.
So let her know. Then Death in Paradise.
Yeah.
Riverdale, White Collar.
Yeah. Okay, this is all my wife.
iZombie.
Yeah.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, I watched that one with her. That was good.
Too Old for This Shit. Oh, that's Grace and Frankie. Sorry, Grace and Frankie. Okay. It's the posters the wrong way around. And then Queer Eye.
Okay, yeah, I'll watch them.
So the list is very, very you. Your 10 most recent films are not all from the show. You've got 100% Wolf in there, Finding Ohana, loads of kids' films.
I should have mentioned that.
Oh, mention it now.
It's really good.
Okay, cool. It looks good. The poster's good.
It's like the Hawaiian Goonies.
Did you not mention it the other week?
I can't remember, but I don't know if that was actually on this programme or not.
Oh, okay. I've heard somebody mention the Hawaiian Goonies. Maybe it was on our video call.
I can't remember.
Let's get down to your stats. So my total watch time in days was 33 days.
Yeah.
So what do you think yours is?
Double. At least
Triple.
Double. Okay.
Triple. 92 days, 15 hours. 72 days watching TV shows, 20 days watching movies. In that time, you could have read 74,700 pages of a book, run 556 marathons, done 1.3 years of university, gone to the moon and back 31 times, and watched the US Office 30 times. What do you think your most favourite genre is?
Crime.
Comedy.
Oh, okay.
Same as mine. Comedy, then family, then animation, then adventure.
I don't think there's much comedy in that list you reeled off, but there you go.
Apparently you've watched comedy in 259 different movies or series.
Okay.
So yeah, check out timespentonnetflix.com. It's quite good. You have to download your CSV file from Netflix, which is easy enough to do. And they've got instructions on how to do that. And then it uploads it onto the website. But yeah, check it out, timespentonnetflix.com. Have we got anything else we want to do? Shall we run through the top 10?
Yeah, we've not done that for a good few weeks. Let's have a look, see what's around.
Currently at number 10 on Netflix is a show called I Am a Killer, which sounds like something you would watch.
I think you watch more of the true crime stuff than me.
True, to be fair. Death row inmates convicted of capital murders give first-hand accounts of their crimes in this documentary series, 2 seasons. So I presume the second season's just turned up.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
No, not me. I might check it out, though. Number 9 is a film called Miss Bala, B-A-L-A, Bala? Miss Bala. Whilst visiting Tijuana, a woman is forced to work for both a ruthless cartel and a DEA agent in order to save her kidnapped friend. Never heard of it.
Nope. I'm drawing blanks.
Number 8 is Fate, the Winx Saga, which is a new TV show. Determined to master their enchanting powers, a group of teens navigate rivalry, romance, and supernatural studies at Alfea, a magical boarding school.
I mean, I've seen the trailer because it just seems to pop up all the time, and I'll just say it doesn't look like it's in my wheelhouse.
No,
I don't think I'm the target audience.
According to this, I'm a 97% match, so maybe. 6 episodes of that. The Superstore is at number 7, not the Superstar, which we just talked about. There's a film called The Dig at number 6. This was at number 1 for quite a while this week.
Yeah.
Quite a few people I know have watched it, actually. It says, on the eve of World War II, a British widow hires a self-taught archaeologist to dig up mysterious formations on her land, leading to a staggering find. It's a true story.
Yeah, it's been in the news a bit of controversy this week because my mind's gone blank. Sorry, I'm doing rubbish tonight. Who's the lady in it? Cut this out.
Carey Mulligan.
That's it. It's been in the news a bit this week because Carey Mulligan is only 36 and the lady she plays was 56.
Oh, really?
And most definitely doesn't look like Carey Mulligan.
That's good actressing. The Vampire Diaries is at number 5. That's just recently reappeared on Netflix.
Okay.
That actually trended on Twitter when it came back.
Really?
There's a lot of Vampire Diaries fans out there, and they're very vocal about their show. And they have a good fan base. Firefly Lane is at number 4. That's a TV show, brand new. It says Best friends Tully and Kate support each other through good times and bad with an unbreakable bond that carries them from their teens to their 40s.
Yeah, it's I've seen the trailer for that. It's Sarah Chalke and Catherine Heigl.
Never heard of it. Sounds alright. Mean Girls is at number 3, randomly.
Yeah, that's new to Netflix.
Yeah, from 2004. I'm not going to read the synopsis of Mean Girls. We all know what that is. Number 2 is Bridgerton, still hanging in there in the top 2. I saw something about Bridgerton this today, in fact. Do you know they've been sharing sets with The Crown?
I did see this news story, yeah.
Did you see it? Yeah. It's quite interesting. There was like loads of comparison pictures of the same set being used in The Crown and
Makes
Bridgerton.
sense.
Yeah, somebody's trying to save some budget somewhere. Number 1 is a Cage film.
No way.
Yeah, Next, it's called.
Which one's that? I've never...
It's from 2007. Nicolas Cage and Julianne Moore and Jessica Biel. Las Vegas magician Chris can see a few minutes into the future and an FBI agent wants his help thwarting a nuclear attack.
Okay. It sounds like
it's
knowing,
Cage,
but...
It does a little bit. Yeah, Cage. 2007 Cage wasn't as bad as 2020 Cage is. It could be quite good. So yeah, that's your Netflix top 10. Somehow, Nicolas Cage has managed to get himself into number 1.
Never rule him out.
Never underestimate the Cage.
No way.
Anything else, or should we get on to talk about this week's film?
Let's talk a movie.
Shall we? Any particular one?
Which one did we watch?
So, this week we watched a film called Camino Christmas, which was released in 2017. It is a 15. It runs for 1 hour and 29 minutes and is currently rated at 5.7 on IMDb. To say this film has a cast is an understatement.
Yeah, sure.
Would you say? Normally I do like a page on the cast and crew, and I've got 2 pages on the cast and crew for this one. First one I've written down is the guy called Dax Shepard, who plays Billy Calhoun. I think you would describe Dax Shepard as a professional celebrity. I don't think he's particularly famous for anything.
Well, he's married to someone very famous.
He's married to Kristen Bell, who is incredibly famous.
I mean,
but I think he's one of those people that have just been around forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned this last week. He always first pops into my head because he was in Idiocracy, which is one of my most hated movies of all time. But he is. He's a face, isn't he? He turns up in stuff.
I always remember him. He was in. Do you remember Punk'd with Ashton Kutcher?
Yes.
He was always the guy that nobody recognised in that.
Yeah.
The Jeremy Beadle role. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's in. According to IMDb, he's got 56 acting credits and 92 self credits. So he's different chat shows and game shows and stuff he's been on.
Sure.
He's just a person who's just everywhere. Also stars Kurtwood Smith as Sheriff Bob Fuller. His list of films that, you know, on Netflix they do known for, and then they do like 3 or 4 films.
Yes.
His list of films on that is ridiculous. So he's known for Broken Arrow, RoboCop, Deep Impact, and Star Trek 6.
Okay. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. He's been in shitloads. I know him most from that 70s show. He played the dad in that back in the day. Back in the day. I sound so old when I say things like that. Third is Tim Allen is in this film, believe it or not. He plays a character called Larry the Big Drunk. Tim Allen, obviously probably most famous for Toy Story. It's got to be, hasn't he?
I mean, I'd say he's a trifecta, isn't he? Because, obviously Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
But is that the first thing you think of when you think of Tim Allen?
No.
Because you kind of think of Buzz Lightyear is just Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Allen.
Buzz Allen, yeah. Because I immediately just thought of the Santa Claus.
Oh, did you? Because I thought of Home Improvement.
Well, they're both valid.
I always think of Home Improvement when I think of Tim Allen. Oh. The thing with Tim Allen, he has questionable politics these days, so that's probably why he doesn't get as much work as he should. But he's a really good actor. If you just look at his acting skills, he's really good in this. But we'll get to that more. But you just have to ignore the fact that he's a massive Trump supporter. I think you've gone again, Nick.
No, I'm still here. I thought you'd gone.
You're just ignoring me.
No, I thought you'd gone.
This is going to be a nightmare to edit together. Jessica Alba's also in this film.
Sure.
She plays a character called Beth, most famous probably for Sin City. She's also in the Fantastic Four film.
Oh, of course she is, yeah. I was thinking of Sin City all the way through this, and I was like, what's the other big thing? Yeah, it's Fantastic Four, of course it is.
Luke Grimes is in this. I'm just going to list off some names now. Vincent D'Onofrio, always good value.
He's usually really good value because he throws everything at us.
He really does in this as well. It's a heck of a cast. It really is. Directed by a guy called David E. Talbot. Do you know that name?
No. Please enlighten me.
He recently is responsible for writing and directing Jingle Jangle.
Oh, okay.
Which was another Christmas... This is a Christmas film, but it's not. It's a film set at Christmas. But yeah, he's done a lot of Christmas films, old David E. Talbot. I think he likes them.
Hey, and look, nothing wrong with sticking to a genre.
Not at all. Written by a guy called Theodore Melfi, who has 3 in his known for section on IMDb. He's known for writing St. Vincent, Going in Style, and Hidden Figures.
Okay, I've seen Going in Style and Hidden Figures.
Me too. I haven't seen St. Vincent, but it's supposed to be brilliant.
It's Bill Murray.
He also directed Hidden Figures. There's another guy who has a screenwriting credit on this called Christopher Weiner, but he has no other credits to his name at all.
Sounds like a made-up name to me.
So I think he was probably just a writer's assistant or something. But yeah, it's a heck of a cast and a heck of a writer and director team. So this has got to be an amazing film.
Oh, surely.
Surely. Do you have a one-word review of El Camino Christmas?
Boozy.
Boozy. True. There's a lot of booze in it. I'm with you. Everybody's drunk. Where does this film start, Nick?
Well, it's kind of the aftermath of a shootout, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you've got some breathless policemen, one of whom seems to be bleeding a bit, and they're taking cover behind a police car.
Yeah.
And they look up at the sky, and it starts to snow.
Yeah. So this is Billy and Bob, the sheriff and his deputy. Yeah,
and then we get the first, but not the last, title card.
Yeah, it does come up a few times, doesn't it?
Which tells us we're now going back 39 hours earlier. And we get not a news report, but a weather report. The weather says there's been no snow in El Camino, because that's our town.
Yeah.
For 40 years?
Yeah, that's what she says. There's never been any snow for 40 years, or he says, sorry.
On Christmas, yeah.
Yeah. And then we get some more... There's a bit of a montage of the town playing over some more Christmas music with the credits rolling at the same time.
Sure.
The credits are very Christmassy. They've got like a Christmassy, sparkly font. There's a Mexican kid singing some Christmas song. It's just a montage of the town. And it goes on for quite a long time. We're
in a sort of arid, desert. I don't know if we're in New Mexico, somewhere like that. Yeah. So, yeah, there's definitely a juxtaposition there, isn't there?
Yeah, we're somewhere right on the border, aren't we? And then we cut to the sheriff. The film starts in the sheriff's office. Sheriff Bob walks in to the office, and he instantly gives Carl a bit of a telling off.
Yeah, he just chews him out, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's one of the deputies is called Carl. He's an older gentleman.
This is Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio's character, yeah. He's basically a lazy drunk.
Yeah.
Cut from there, we get a bit of a driving montage of this young guy who's turning up into town. This is Eric. And he checks into a hotel, or a motel, that appears to be run by one of the policemen.
Yeah, it is, because it's Dax Shepard's character, who was one of the guys we saw in the pre-credit scene hiding behind the police car.
So he runs a hotel and is a policeman.
But, so this was my first point of, I don't get this decision. Because the whole way this scene is played is that... So this guy, Eric, turns up. He tries to check into the motel. His card's declined, so he pays with cash. Dax Shepard's character, Billy, sort of asks him a few questions. And it's played like, why is this motel guy being so sort of nosy?
Yeah.
And then he sort of disappears out the back, and he comes after Eric's checked in, and he comes back out putting his police shirt on.
Yeah.
And it's all played like that's supposed to be a surprise, but we've already seen him in his uniform.
Definitely.
And
obviously
really
that's
weird.
An editing decision after the film's been shot. But
yeah.
But then Carl walks in as well, and he kind of sits down in the reception area. So it's like this is a motel run by the police force.
Yeah.
I was really confused by it. I'm glad you were as confused as I was.
The structure just didn't work, did it?
No. To be honest, the structure doesn't work for this film at all. Because all it's doing is trying to get to that last half an hour.
Yeah.
The first hour of this film is just the build up to the last half an hour.
Yeah, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but it's just I didn't need the frame. Yeah, the framing bit at the start. where we're seeing that there's a shootout coming. Yeah, I don't need that.
Yeah. No.
Because it
kind of just makes you think, the film plods and waits for this shootout to come, which is inevitably coming at the end. We already know this. And if we didn't have that, you probably wouldn't notice it as much. But I really noticed that this film just plods through itself.
Putting that bit pre-credits scene totally negated this whole 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah,
it did. It really did. Cut from there, we meet a lady and her son. The kid has... The doctor's telling... They're in a doctor's surgery. The doctor's telling the kid's mum that she thinks he's got autism.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't speak.
Correct.
He's never spoken. We kind of leave that scene there. That's just an introduction to those two characters. This basically what we're doing now is just introducing you to all the characters that are going to appear later on. We meet a pregnant news reporter who's in a news van with her cameraman.
Yeah, that's Jessica Alba.
Yeah, she's they're kind of just waiting for something to happen, just sitting at the side of the road.
They do say they're in town for some really non-event of a news story, but I can't remember what it is because I didn't write it down.
So we cut from there to a diner. The same lady we met earlier is in there with the son that we met as well. She's just buying a drink or whatever, and then Eric's in there, and he buys a piece of cake for the kid.
Yeah,
she said she couldn't afford it, and it just establishes that he's a kind of nice guy. Eric leaves there. He's now being followed by the policeman for some reason, which is Billy and Carl, the two deputies. And he heads to a shop. And when he gets to the shop, that some time has obviously passed. Was she called Kate?
Yes, the lady with the son, yeah.
The lady with the son works in this shop. She's called Kate. And he buys a bottle of tequila from her.
Yes.
Because he's just staying in town we don't know why yet, but we do find out. He goes back to his car, drinks a bit of this tequila in the car. It's almost like he's plucking up courage for something.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what he was doing. He heads over to some shithole housing development type place. He knocks on a door and Tim Allen answers.
He does. Very sort of wizened looking.
Tim Allen. He's aged, hasn't he? Since his last film appearance, whenever that was. Eric explains to this guy that he's looking for somebody, but this guy's like, I have no idea who that is. He's drunk. He's rude.
He says, I've got hold of this address. Did a guy called Michael used to live here?
Maybe.
I think he's looking for. And Tim Allen's character says, no, my name's Chuck. No idea.
I thought his name's Larry.
It is later, but he introduced himself as Chuck.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
But then he sort of pulls Eric back, doesn't he? He says, actually, there was a guy here before me. Buy me a beer, and I'll tell you about him.
I might remember him if you buy me a drink, that kind of situation. So they get into the car and they head off to a bar together.
And instantly, I know this is a small town.
Yeah.
But the whole concept of having to just go and drive to a bar, which happens quite a bit in the States, is just really weird to me.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Instantly, as soon as they get to the bar, Tim Allen gets into a fight. Like, straight away.
Yes.
He's barely even walked in the door.
He's just sort of... He's already drunk, isn't he? And he sort of bumbles his way into another group of lads. And Eric pulls him out of the fight. Mate.
Yeah, Eric breaks it up. And they kind of sit down at the bar, have a bit of a chat, a bit of a drink. Eric pretty much doesn't believe that Larry knows who this guy is that he's looking for.
Yeah,
and he basically just says, "You're wasting my time," and he leaves, doesn't he? He just goes. So he leaves. He drives off, leaves Larry there in the bar, not in the car, and pretty much instantly gets pulled over by the policeman.
Yeah,
Billy and Carl, the two deputies, and they bust him for being in possession of drugs.
Yeah,
which he wasn't. They weren't his drugs. They were clearly probably Larry's. But they were definitely in his car.
He has a bag of weed. But it was Larry's.
Yeah. So these two cops have instantly taken a dislike to Eric for pretty much no reason.
Other than he's a stranger in town.
He's a strange man in a strange town.
His card was declined at the motel.
Which they seem to run.
Yeah.
So they take him back to the police station and they start interrogating him, or they call it interrogating him. Basically, it means beating him up. So
yeah, Carl in particular is pretty handsy, shall we say?
Yeah. So yeah, they give Eric a good seeing to. Meanwhile, back at the bar, Larry's been set upon again, and he's now being beat up at the same time. Yeah. So the film's kind of intercutting between the two scenes of both these guys being beat up. They both get the piss beaten out of them, basically.
Sure do.
Cut to the next day. We go back to the shop that we were in earlier. Incidentally, Emilio Rivera runs the shop. You'll know this guy. He's been in... If any TV show needs a Mexican, he's your guy.
Vicente is the character.
Emilio Vicente. And his fridge is broken, where he keeps all his beer. And this town needs beer, because everybody's a drunk. So he can't fix it. He tries to fix it, nearly blows himself up. And so he calls Kate, who works there with him, to come in and see if she can... Because apparently she's got some trick that fixes the fridge.
Yeah, she's got a magic touch.
But unfortunately, she's got a kid, as we met earlier. This kid's called Seth, I think.
Yes. And
she's also got a mum who she lives with, who's a bit of a slag.
It's a lot of setup, isn't it? Now you're talking it through.
I was thinking about it. I was all the way through. I was like, this is clearly just setting up for a set piece at the end. And it's exactly what it was. Yeah, her mum's a bit of a slag, and she doesn't want to look after the kid because she's got a man there, generic man. She basically goes to the shop and she takes the kid with her.
Yeah. Also, it's Christmas Eve, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Larry wakes up on his sofa in his house. He's in a bit of pain, and Billy comes in and wakes Eric up in the prison cell.
Yes. And
he's kind of like apologizes to Carl. For Carl, sorry. He apologises about what Carl did to him.
He realises that they're in trouble.
Yeah, basically. Because what they did last night was ridiculous. They just arrested a guy and beat the crap out of him in a prison cell. So Billy says to him, look, I'm going to leave your car keys here. I'm going to go to the toilet and I'm going to leave this cell door open. And it's up to you what you do. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
So Eric obviously just picks his car keys up and leaves. Unfortunately, Carl spots him driving away.
Yeah. He runs back to the motel to get his car, and just as he's... And fair enough, it is a bit of a coincidence. Just as he's pulling out the motel, the deputy Carl comes past in his car. So we got a car chase.
Yes, we do get a car chase. And it's actually quite a good car chase, to be fair.
Yeah, Carl, it is, actually.
They're weaving in and out of traffic and around lorries and stuff. And then Carl takes it to the next level, because he pulls his gun and starts shooting at the car.
He's also drinking out of a hip flask at various
this is
points.
A drunken old cop, is what we've got here. Eric does some creative driving and forces Carl off the road. And he eventually crashes into a haystack.
He does, yeah.
Obviously Eric gets away. Carl has a bit of a rant over the radio to Billy, which unfortunately Sheriff Bob overhears. We kind of leave it there. Eric's car breaks down.
Yeah.
Because the tyre gets shot. The fuel tank got shot out or something.
Carl shot a couple of times at it, and eventually his car dies.
It's leaking some shit.
Yeah, he sort of starts running up the road. Carl is also running up the road while swinging from his hip flask. And
so we've got like a foot chase.
Gun.
We've got a kind of a foot chase going on. But Eric's obviously quite a long way ahead.
Yeah.
Cut to the shop. We get back to the shop. Larry enters the shop because he needs some beers and some booze.
He's a pick-me-up for breakfast.
Yep. He needs a bit of hair of the dog. And Carl is now outside. Eric gets into the shop as well, doesn't he? He makes it to the shop.
He does, yeah.
And Carl turns up outside.
He just starts shooting at it.
Did he? I think he heard something from inside that he thought was a gunshot.
Oh, maybe. I thought he just...
Or did he just start shooting at the shop?
A couple of shots straight through the window, but either way.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So he starts shooting at the shop. Everybody obviously in the shop hits the deck because somebody's shooting at them. They don't know who it is at this point. But Larry is an ex-soldier.
Yeah.
So obviously he fires back. He manages to hit Carl in the leg.
He does, yeah. Just as he sort of steps through the doorway, isn't it?
Stepping through the door, yeah. He shoots Carl in the leg. And all of a sudden, the whole film's gone chaotic. Everybody's screaming, everybody's shouting, there's guns going off.
Yeah, the sort of rest of the cops pull up out the front, don't they?
Yeah, so they shut the doors with Carl inside, and all these new cops turn up outside. And we're here now. The first hour of this film is them building up to this, because this is the film, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they close the blinds, and we've got a good old-fashioned standoff. But nobody is a bad guy.
No. Because at one point, Kate asks Eric, "Are you keeping us hostage?" He's like, "No,
no, I'm not. What are you talking about?
I ran in here to get away from this crazy cop."
The bad guy is the cop.
Yeah,
and the cops outside think that the Carl has been kidnapped by the bad guys when there isn't any bad guys.
Yeah,
it's a real fuck up. It's quite a good situation. So Bob and Billy are the two that turn up, the sheriff and the deputy. Bob decides to go around the back of the store to see if he can get in or see through the window. Just as Bob gets to the back of the store, Eric's also at the back of the store.
Yeah, so he's trying to escape out this window.
Yeah, but the window is obviously barred. He opens the window just as Bob pops his head up and he makes him jump.
Yeah.
And Bob's gun goes off.
Yes.
So Billy, being in the front of the store, hears Bob's gun go off at the back of the store and starts returning fire. So everybody again hits the deck in the store and Eric comes around. He's like, there's cops shooting at each other through the store and nobody in the store is actually doing anything.
And they're even on the radio to each other, Bob and Billy, and Bob says, "Firing." Billy's like, "Returning fire." And then it takes a few seconds and Bob's like, "You're what? Stop firing."
Yeah, Bob suddenly realises what's going on, doesn't he? He's like, we're literally shooting at each other. Everybody in the shop's on the floor.
I thought this was a really good sequence. It made me laugh.
It really was. It was the best bit of the film. Bob and Billy eventually reunite out the front of the store. Bob calls Billy an idiot. And he's like, we need to ring the store. Let's call the store. So Bob gets his phone out, rings the store phone starts ringing. Eric picks it up. He's like, why the hell are you shooting at us? The bad guy is your mate. Carl's the bad guy. Obviously, the cops are not going to believe that. Then some more cops show up. It's a proper clusterfuck. Yeah,
there's this one little bit that's quite important because Eric sort of explains to everyone who he's with in the store. He does the whole Captain Exposition bit, doesn't he? It's like, this is how we ended up here. And Larry, Tim Allen's character, he sort of turns around and says, "Carl, you're a prick." He's like, I totally believe this guy. Yeah,
they both do. Kate says the same thing as well, don't she?
Yeah.
She's like, "You're an idiot, man. What are you doing?" So Carl's festered this whole situation. And now it's completely out of control, and it's like there's a hostage situation going on when there's actually nobody there being held hostage.
Correct.
The news crew show up. They've heard it over the police scanners. Billy and Bob have a really nice scene now. There's Billy's managed to deduce everybody who's in the store,
except
for Larry. Yeah, he knows that Eric's in there. He knows obviously the name of the store owner and the fact that Kate would be in there. He figures Kate would probably have Seth. He's done some proper police work. He's like a proper policeman.
Yeah.
Bob actually looks really impressed. He's like, I can't believe you've actually done some proper policing here. Then, back in the store, Eric spots a video camera, a security camera. I don't understand why, but he goes and kills this video camera. Because it would have shown Carl taking the first shot.
Yeah.
No, because if you'd have watched the footage, you would have seen Carl taking the first shot. I don't understand what he benefited from taking out the camera. When I saw the camera, I was thinking, oh, well, this has solved everything. That should get out clause.
I thought I'd missed something, so I'm glad you also missed it.
So, I was like, you've got the proof then that Carl was the first one to shoot and everything's been chaotic ever since. But he doesn't. He goes in and pours some coffee over the computer and kills it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. And then Kate goes with him, and this is where we find out that Eric is actually looking for his dad.
Yeah,
that's why he's come to town. He's never met his father. His mum's just died or recently died.
Yeah.
So he's come to look for his dad.
And he's been given all these letters from his dad to his mother.
Yeah. Bob rings the store again, and this time Larry answers.
I liked this bit as well.
This was quite good. Bob says, look, you've got 30 minutes to release all the hostages, or we're going to gas you out.
And Larry just says, we want money. We want a shitload of money.
And then just hangs the phone up.
Yeah.
And Eric's like, what have you done that for? Now we're the hostage takers. And he's like, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, and the police are really confused because they're like, what, that was an older guy.
Yeah, that wasn't the same guy I spoke to earlier.
Who else is in there?
So they don't know what's going on. The news reporter's now on the TV. Eric and Carl are having a conversation, and Carl says, look, if you tell the truth of what's happened here today, I will go out there and I will surrender myself.
Eric says that, yeah.
Yeah, Eric says it's to Carl. But Carl's not having any of it. Carl's adamant that he hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah. He's like, you're
an escaped felon.
Yeah.
As far as he knows, Eric's escaped from prison. He doesn't know that Billy let him out of the prison cell.
No, true.
Billy heads over. He's sent over to be on TV with. I think the news report was called Beth.
He names this. He just fucks up, doesn't he? He names the suspect. He lets on that he escaped from jail. Yeah,
which isn't true. He let him out of prison.
Yeah.
Cut back into the store. Carl's losing a lot of blood in the store. And all the people in the store are still like, we can't believe you've done this, Carl. You're such an idiot. And he kind of goes around them one by one and he explains what he's done for them all in the past. Because he's like...
so he says to Kate, like, I saved you from getting beaten up by your boyfriend.
Yeah.
What does he say to Vicente? You know, I again, helped you out when this place was held up.
Yeah. He just goes through and you kind of feel sorry for him a little bit at that point because he is like a cop, or he was a cop at one point. Eric explains to everybody at that point that he's looking for his dad because his mum's died. The freezer comes on, or the fridge comes on all of a sudden, which makes Larry start singing. He's really happy that the booze is going to be cold, and instantly goes and gets some booze. Even though it's not like an instant freeze, I don't think.
Must be an efficient freezer.
The news reporter, Beth, she approaches Sheriff Bob. She asks him some questions. He's not prepared to answer because Billy's already fucked up the news, the press. So he kicks her out of the zone. He's like, get out, get behind that tape. Carl reveals to Vicente, the shop owner, that he's got a backup gun in the back of his trousers.
Yeah.
And he's like, get it out for me, because the guns have obviously still been taken away. But Vicente's really like, I'm not touching that. I'm not going anywhere near a gun.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Eric and Kate sort of bond, don't they, about sort of not having a dad.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know this is like the calm before the storm, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. The whole film, you're just waiting for the last 20 minutes. Bob is coming up with a plan with all the cops outside. He wants to get this all resolved and finished before the feds show up because he's like protective of his town.
It's that this is a local matter. We'll settle this. We do this ourselves. We don't
need the feds. So he remembers that Carl's in there. So he's like, I'll give Carl a ring. I'll give him a call. Basically, he gives Carl a heads up that 2 minutes and we're all coming in. Is how that conversation goes, basically. In the meantime, the news has gone national. Our local news report is now on national news. And they interview Kate's mum. She makes another little appearance. And then suddenly it all kicks off. So this is where it really gets going now. Because...
This I have to pause this to write my notes.
Yeah, I did as well.
Fast.
It escalated very quickly, this film. So Carl, knowing that they're going to come in a couple of minutes, and I imagine knowing that his game's going to be up, shoots Eric but hits him in the kind of side, rib cagey kind of area. Eric goes down but fires back and kills Carl, shoots him dead. Obviously the police start shooting as well because there's guns going off in the store. Vicente gets up, runs with his hands up, and he gets killed by the cops through the window.
Gets absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, the cops just
falls
fire
forward through
him.
Yeah, falls forward through all the bottles and cans, doesn't he?
Somewhere in the melee, Deputy Billy's takes a bullet as well. The shoulder, I think.
Yeah, the police have just royally fucked this up.
Completely fucked it up.
Trigger happy, yeah.
In the middle of all this, the news reporter starts going into labour. It starts snowing now. This is kind of where the film started. We're back at that kind of point. And then suddenly the feds show up.
They do,
So the FBI turn up, which is what Bob did not want. So back in the store, Larry is with Eric patching him up. Kate and the kid are still in there as well. And the feds tell Sheriff Bob and Deputy Billy to go behind the barricade.
So you're out of here.
We're taking this now. This is our case. Larry tells an old war story about killing his whole troop.
He was basically a commanding officer, wasn't he? And he made certain decisions that led to a lot of casualties in Vietnam.
Yeah.
He says he ended up getting court-martialed. He lost everything. This is obviously where he says to Eric, "Yeah, I'm your dad."
Yeah, we kind of get that reveal. We kind of knew it from the start.
Yeah,
anyway,
of course we did. Of course,
the reveals here that Tim Allen is Eric's dad,
and he says, "You and your mother deserve better than me."
Yeah, the phone in the store rings again, and Eric says to Kate, "Answer that, and you guys get out of here." So she takes the phone. She says to the cops outside, "Look, I'm coming out with my son. Don't fucking shooters, basically.
Yeah.
So
as they
she
step
leaves.
over Vicente's body.
Yeah, and Carl's body. So as she leaves, the kid turns around because he's left. He had like a remote control car that he was playing with, didn't he? So he goes to pick that up, and he turns to Eric and he speaks. He says thank you to him, and that's the first time this kid's ever spoken. So Kate starts crying and talking to the kid. It was quite. It was an emotional scene. Yeah. Eric says to Larry, "Look, you go as well. This is my problem now. I'll sort this out." But Larry's like, "Fuck off! I ain't going anywhere. I'm here with you now."
I got nowhere better to be.
Meanwhile, the news reporter goes into full-on labour live on air, and it's completely no-sold by the anchor back in the studio.
Yeah,
you can see it happening in the background, and the anchor's like, "I think we've got some technical difficulties." Yeah. And you can see it like having a baby in the background.
Right, it's really, you can practically see the crown,
At this point, Larry starts moving around in the store, and he picks up one of the guns, and it's quite clear what he's going to do at this point.
So it's the gun that Eric shot Carl with.
Yeah, he basically says to Eric, "I'm sorry, have a nice life," and Eric's begging him not to do it, but he does it. He walks out at the front of the store. He says that there's one guy left in there. He needs medical help, and he does a bit of a monologue, doesn't he? And then he raises his gun slightly, and all the cops open fire and shoot the crap out of him, and he dies on the floor next to a cardboard cutout of a busty woman.
Yes, yeah.
And then the film cuts away, and I thought, oh, it's finished. And then you get a sign come up saying 182 days later.
Lovely.
Didn't look what was 182 days after Christmas Eve, but I don't know why they chose that number.
That's 6 months, isn't it?
Everyone's doing okay. There's a montage of everybody being all right. Even Vicente.
Yeah,
is okay.
Quite like that, actually. I mean, I kind of felt it didn't feel unearned.
No, I agree.
I thought it was a nice punchline. He's lying on the beach, isn't he, next to a hot lady, and he says, "Oh, by the way, I'm pretty rich." He's like,
he must have got
shot. I got shot he says I got shot 4 times. I got £32 million. $32 million. That's $8 million per bullet.
I didn't catch that. I didn't realise you got that much. That's a lot of money. I think I'd take a bullet for $8 million.
So he's living the dream.
He is living the actual dream. Yeah, he definitely looked dead in that shootout earlier, but we'll forgive it. Back in the town, the kid talks now, full on talks. He's chatting away to his mum, and then somebody buys him a piece of cake, and Eric walks over, and he's still in the town. He lives there now, apparently. And then the film ends.
Yeah.
What did you think overall?
I think overall I liked it.
I agree.
I didn't like all of it.
It has its problems.
Overall, I liked it.
It's fun. It is good fun. But I have an issue with the first 45 minutes because they're trying to. I get that they're trying to establish these characters, but they're literally just telling you who they are and then putting them in position for where they need to be. There's no character arcs for any of them.
It's not natural, is it?
No, not at all.
It feels like. And I didn't mind the pace because it was.
No, the pace is fine.
I liked the fact that the first half was slow and then it speeds up. But my criticism would be that first half did feel like we're just putting pieces on the chessboard.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It didn't flow together. I thought.
That's exactly right. You don't get any sort of character arc for any of these characters, and you'd literally just getting to the point where we need all these people in a shop. Let's get them in a shop. And that's it. Having
said that, once they were all in there,
hell yeah, it's a heck of a ride.
I really enjoyed it.
It's a really fun ride. It's not a Christmas film. It's bizarre that it's even centered around Christmas, but the same as Pottersville was. It was not a Christmas film.
I think this is less of a Christmas film than that was.
Probably.
I would say.
Agreed. Unless if it hadn't told you at the beginning that it was Christmas Eve, you would never have known.
Yeah.
There's not even any Christmas decorations up in the shop.
No.
But it's a fun ride. It's only an hour and a half. You're not going to have any problems with it. It's sitting a Saturday night, pizza and a Magnum, job done.
I liked the cast as well.
The cast is brilliant. Everybody in it's really good.
Well, I don't think everyone was in it everyone who was in it was brilliant.
Do you not?
But no, I liked almost every. I liked almost everyone in it. I could have done with more. I thought Tim Allen could have done more with his character.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll give you that.
I felt he underplayed it. I just thought there was more for him to get his teeth into there, to be honest.
Yeah,
Now,
he was just a stereotypical small town drunk, wasn't he? He didn't really try and do anything with it.
Yeah, whether they left some stuff on the cutting room floor, because we literally just got that 2 to 3 minute scene where he was explaining why he was a drunk and what had gone wrong in his life. Again, it didn't... Some of that could have been done with that first half of the movie, surely.
Yeah, agreed.
It just seemed a bit in the wrong order for me. And like I say, it might not have been him. It might be that some of it was left on the cutting room floor. But I think he could have gone to town a bit more with his character.
He just dialed it in a little bit.
That's how it came across, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
For me.
He's a good actor. He is a good actor. He always has been a good actor. But you're right. I think he maybe did just dial it in a little bit. It's probably just a cheap payday, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
he knows it's not going to make any waves with it. But overall, it ain't a bad little film. It's fun. It's the last half an hour are just hectic, and it is a good ride. It's a wild ride.
I thought it was a pleasant surprise. Really reminded me of something back in the day before we had all this on-demand stuff. Late night. Really late night movie you find on one of the lesser known channels, and it sort of grabs you a bit, and you're like, oh yeah, that's going to stick in my mind. And I did enjoy it, yeah.
More and more every week we realise that we're not here to find top quality Oscar winning films. We're here to find a film that you can enjoy, have a bit of fun with, and just a bit of a no-brainer and watch it. I think that's what we found this week.
I mean, this is a good example for me. I'd say this was a hidden gem because it's not a world beater. It's not necessarily pulling up loads of trees, but it's a nice, pleasant surprise. Yeah. And I wouldn't have picked it out of a lineup unless it, had come up on the randomizer. But I was more than happy with what I got for my 90 minutes.
Agreed. Even Ross Cook had never heard of it, so it must be bottom of the stream. Yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself. This is the sort of film we're here to find. We're not here to find the next bloody Citizen Kane. We're here to just give you some entertainment on a Saturday night with a pizza and a Magnum. Shall we talk about the stream table?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think this is going to be tough this week. So what sort of area of the stream table are you at?
I'm kind of thinking it's sort of 3 to 8. It's kind of chasing pack.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't think it's quite 3 or 4. It isn't.
But there's quite a sort of lump of movies there that
a lump
are good.
So currently 3 is VFW and 4 is Catfight.
It's not better.
I don't think it troubles either of those two.
No.
5 is A Silent Voice and 6 is Pottersville.
It's around there. I think it's around there. What's just below them?
7's The Discovery. 8 is Would You Rather.
Yeah, it's better than The Discovery, I think.
It is better than The Discovery. We're at Pottersville again, aren't we?
Yeah, and there's many reasons why this is comparable to that.
Yeah, because it's a non-Christmas film.
But I was more thinking small town America. Everyone knows each other. Something goes a bit wrong, people are put in a very unexpected situation
at Christmas. It's virtually the same film. When you describe it like that,
one involves a.
I think this is better than Pottersville.
I think it is as well.
Personally, I think it's a more fun ride. And
this was more rewarding.
Yes,
I think
you're right. I think it has a better story and it is more fun. So it goes above Pottersville. We're convinced of that, yeah?
Yeah, I was really invested. Once they're all in that store, I was like, yeah, I'm on board here.
Me too. It was just getting them there was a bit of a trudge. So if it's better than Pottersville, does it trouble A Silent Voice?
I think it's close.
I don't think such different beasts. You can't compare them. There's no way this is a better film than A Silent Voice. The Silent Voice is the better film.
No, I don't think so.
You can't put it above it, can you?
I don't think so.
Okay, we'll go with that then. Just above Pottersville, just below A Silent Voice. So 6th. That's pretty high. Okay. I was not expecting it to get to 6th. I'm impressed with that. So how are we? I think how are we turning the tide on it?
I think we might have already covered it. I think for me,
you're right.
for me,
flesh out some of the characters a bit.
Yeah, I think we can do a bit of a rewrite on that first half hour. There's something more organic we can do. The whole sequence from Billy letting him out of the prison cell and to the point where Carl shoots at the store is a bit silly as well. Because why, if he's just been allowed out of prison and he's just been in a car chase with another cop, he then goes into the shop. It's all a bit loose. There was an element as well of, we all know that Larry is Eric's dad right from the get-go. So why are we fucking around
with false names and false identities?
Pretending. Why is he doing the Yoda thing?
Eric should have known that from the start.
Yeah. Could we not have come to that reveal when they first met? They could have still gone to the bar, realised that they hate each other, but the relationship started.
Build that relationship up all the way through, and then get stuck together to the point where they then have to work together. It's exactly the same way as they do to get out of this situation, to the point where Larry then sacrifices himself at the end.
But we don't need the reveal to be in the shop over a 2-minute conversation when we could have had that in the first half. And then, like you say, you've got this, okay, they've met, they realise their first meeting went really badly, and now, oh shit, they're stuck in the shop.
Yeah, that's a character arc. You got Larry's arc from hating Eric to all the way through to sacrificing himself for him is a character arc. And it does happen in the film, but it happens in 2 minutes.
Yes.
Make that last the whole film, you've got a better film. Agreed.
And I think it gives, to my other complaint, it gives Tim Allen more to get his teeth into.
Yep. Because he's not even like top, he's not even third or fourth build in this film.
Yeah.
He's like right down the bottom, and he's one of the main characters, isn't it? So Dax Shepard's the top build cast member.
And he's not important to this, really.
Not really. So yeah, I agree. I think that's a great way to redo it.
Cool.
Which nicely brings us on to next week's film. Next week will be episode 19 of this season.
Oh, excellent.
With still 2 wildcards to play, including mine. So Jordan, get your ass together, and I will do the same. What are you looking for from next week's film?
What haven't we had for a while?
A good film?
This was a good
No,
film.
This was a good film. We've not had nothing's troubled the top for a long time.
No, I do feel like we have. Yeah,
we're stuck very
mid-table. I'll go with that. Yeah, we need the randomizer to pull us something that's going to give Caliber a run for its money, because it's been
number 1 for too long.
Yeah, and I know the Lost Bullet ran it quite close, but
that's going back a long time as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's see what the randomizer dishes out to us then, shall we?
Let's do it.
It has picked a film called Dark Light.
Okay.
Any ideas?
Something to do with photography? I don't. I mean, I'm going to say it's aliens again.
Almost. It says, a woman returns to her family home and discovers it to be inhabited by monsters.
Okay.
4.2 on IMDb from 2019. So yeah, what do you reckon to that? A monster film?
Yeah, let's do it.
The tagline is Fear the Light.
Okay. Right, okay. Pitch Black was good. Maybe it's a sort of that sort of rip-off.
Similar idea to that. Cool. So yeah, go out and check out Dark Light. And in the meantime, check us out on flipping Twitter and Instagram and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. The website is facebook.com/bottom of the stream. What did I just say that completely wrong?
You cut out. I couldn't tell you.
I'm going to start it again. Check us out. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. For fuck's sake.
Oh, this has been a nightmare.
This has been a horrible episode. In the meantime, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast. Facebook.com/bottom of the stream. The website is www.bottomofthestream.com. On there, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, all 4 seasons stream table, and loads of other cool stuff. Check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/bottom of the stream is where you'll find that. For a couple of quid every month, you'll get access to bonus episodes, to early release episodes, if I can get out of the habit of editing on a Sunday afternoon. Nick writes a newsletter every month. You get a wild card if you come in at a certain level. And also check us out on Discord. The link to the Discord will be at the bottom of the show notes.
Yeah, come talk to us in there. It's a good time, guaranteed.
I got there in the end, Nick.
That's fine. As well as all that, if you have a spare 5 minutes, if you could leave us a review anywhere that you can review podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Podchaser, Spotify, or invent a bottom of the stream cocktail and write us a review on the menu if you own a cocktail bar. Why not?
Where's that come from?
I don't know. There was liquor in this movie. I've got a beer now, so I'm just thinking about beer, really.
Fair enough. Cool, yeah, and do that and then check out Dark Light, and we'll come back next week to talk to you about it.
Cheers.
Bye.
That felt so patched together.